Yo, the Nolan Wells case may have just reached a major turning point. A major turning point. Oh, man. Hey, y'all, this is Uda on Go, and we're live as Nolan Wells' family and civil rights attorney Ben Crump hold a major news conference to address this investigation. So we're going to listen in all together, right? We're going to break down some key statements if we can and cover any new developments as they happen. So let's get right into it. But what I need y'all to do is hype this video, get us into the algorithms, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to On Go, be a part of the Go Gang, and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we're dropping new content. Let's get right into it.
Good morning. I'm attorney Ben Crump, along with attorney Lisa Park, attorney Eric Hurts, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore. We've just had an opportunity to meet with District Attorney Angel McElgrath and some members of her team. We had a very respectful meeting. The thing I assume some of you may know, the thing to announce, she shared with the family that there will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts. Attorney Eric Hurts is helping lead the investigation team with former law enforcement experts who are going to help us with the cell phone download. So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has. We also talked about trying to make sure we dot every I and cross every T. I know that we're getting about 50 calls a day to 100 calls a day from people who were there on Horn Island, people who are familiar with individuals that were there on Horn Island. And so we continue to be steadfast in trying to get to the truth of why Nolan Wells is dead. At this time, we'll have Attorney Hurts say a few words, and then Christine and Elmore will just talk about the homegoing services and celebration for Nolan, and then we'll take a few of your questions. Attorney Eric Hurts.
Thank you. Right now, there's a lot of unanswered questions. We appreciate the district attorney meeting with us, but because of certain types of confidentiality that even the victims are not allowed to know, we did not get all the answers we want. We have an independent investigation going on that involves former law enforcement, federal agents that are going to be looking into all the different information we got. The calls are coming in and we're getting a lot of information. Some of the people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative, which has been put out that is false, is going to be corrected. So at this point, we just ask everybody to keep calling in if you have any information and let us know. And I personally, if we validate you're a legitimate call, we'll call you and talk to you. And I thank you all for showing up today.
And now, Christine and Elmore will just share with you some details of the homegoing celebration for their son.
Hello, everyone. So the homegoing celebration, the funeral will be held at Center Point Church in Ocean Springs. It is going to be, visitation will be 9 to 11, and then the funeral will start after that. The plan is for the repast because, again, we want to celebrate Norman. And he would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him, and that'll be held at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. So we really do want to keep it for family and friends. We are going to allow media to come in as well. And lastly,
His teammates.
oh, absolutely, teammates. We've already contacted Coach Les George because we want to make sure that those guys are there. Former teammates from high school, middle school, teams that he played against. You guys are all welcome. But of course, we want to make sure that our families for sure and close friends get there. So I do want to just say for those of you, again, if you are having protests, even the day of his service, I am asking you guys to just keep it peaceful. Nolan would never want any type of violence or anything like that. He was not that kind of person. So if you guys would, again, just be peaceful. And to the community, thank you so much. Just the outpouring of love, support. We've had some local officials, Mayor Casey Vaughn from Gaucher has reached out to us. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. He has, it's almost been every day. He's been texting to check on us. Also, Jeffrey Hullum, thank you so much. He's been texting pretty much every day. Receiving a lot of stories from Nolan's teachers, which just warms my heart, his classmates, teammates. So again, for those of you who have donated to the GoFundMe, once again, I stress, if you are not financially able to, we're not begging for that money, okay? If you're not financially able to, we understand. We thank you for whatever you can give, but if you cannot, if you would, just keep us in your prayers. And to his friends, stay strong, and please just take care of your mental health, because I know this is a lot. It's a lot for us, and I know you guys are feeling some of that too. So thank you all.
Are there any questions? Yes.
Attorney Crump, Skyler Henry here with CBS News. The last time
The father don't speak? Why wouldn't he say something for his son? I know she did a good job speaking though. She did a good job holding it together as well. So I do give her a lot of credit for that. She's a mother. That is her son, regardless of what you think about this whole case. So she really spoke well and she did a great job. But I would have thought that the father would have spoke as well. I'm not giving him no slack or no flack or nothing like that. But I would have just thought he would have said a few words for his son as well. You know what I mean?
that you spoke in a setting like this, I know you guys are hoping to get results back from an independent autopsy. I know you mentioned that Nolan has been sent to
Washington, D.C.
Is there anything to share on that front?
Not at this time, but we hope soon, very soon. Obviously, we're concentrating on the funeral services, but hopefully shortly thereafter, we will be able to tell some findings of the preliminary autopsy. Still waiting on some things. And I also, while we're talking about funeral services, want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry for paying for the funeral. Absolutely. As well as Colin Kaepernick for helping to shoulder the expense of the independent autopsy. And I thank Reverend Al for agreeing to officiate the funeral services. Yes, sir.
Aaron Gilchrist with NBC News. Mr. and Mrs. Lonsley, you said from the very beginning that for you, this was really about getting some answers about what happened to your son. Do you feel like after your meeting today, you have any more clarity on what happened?
But it was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information about the investigation too much, because those things are, as she said, her role and what she has to do. But they still have questions, and that's not insignificant to this meeting. It's just in general. Every morning they wake up and there's a hole in their heart, and they are trying to say, what happened to my son? obviously, they feel strongly that he would not have just stayed behind. He wouldn't have left his cell phone. And so we're trying to get to those answers.
Terry Crump, Brian Rose, Juicy Wire. There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online, especially the pool picture that was shared by you. And you had said that.
Well, I didn't share it. I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come in and call. And so we've said from the beginning, we're in a ferocious search for the truth. And so things out there, we are trying to post, ask people, do you know something about this? Let us know. Just because we repost does not mean that we authenticate anything. Look at our social media. We have always been very careful to say this is a repost, and we almost always give a declaration that that's what it is, a repost. And so we want people to continue to call about everything, videos, whatever interactions they saw. And thank God, we are getting dozens of people calling every day saying, I was on Horn Island. This is what I saw. I know these individuals. This is what we know. They said, we understand the sheriff's investigation has hundreds of people calling too. And so the hope is that when this is presented to the grand jury, all relevant witnesses and evidence will be presented to them so that we can have a fair and impartial investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. We were very honest and candid with the district attorney, and she was honest and candid with us. Our lived experiences tell us that we must question everything, everybody's role, law enforcement role. That is the lived experience of us as Black people in America. And we would be not honoring the ancestors' sacrifices for us if we did not be honest every chance we got when we talk to power.
And so, you mentioned the false narrative out there. Well, I've seen quite a few of those, so I was wondering if you could tell us which false narrative you're talking about so we can let people know it's not true. Was there a particular false narrative you were
There's a lot of narratives out there right now, and
There's a lot of narratives we're going to try to investigate on.
there's a lot of narratives out there right now. I'm not going to comment on any particular one, but whenever a case this big gets in the news, people try for whatever motivations, law enforcement or whoever, people that call in, try to set up a narrative so that people will follow the narrative. Our job is to cut through all the noise and find the truth. And the truth needs to be found by unbiased investigation, as well as unbiased lawyers and all the people that are out here, all you investigatory journalists and everyone else. We just ask that you keep an open mind until we get to the truth.
And one of the things I will say, we are trying desperately to figure it out. And we don't profess to have all the answers, but what we're trying. And so when people call and tell us this is this person, and then we get somebody saying that, no, this isn't that person, we're trying to balance it all. So we want to even be more careful ourselves to make certain that we're trying to get people to come forward. And there are a lot of people who have different perspectives. We're getting that just from the phone calls, that people who were there at the same time are saying different things. But we're going to get there. We're going to get to the truth.
So first, I
yes.
just want to say my deepest condolences to you, Christine, and Elmore. My heart hurts. I'm bringing the guild WLOA Spirit home. But I want to go on and ask you, Attorney Ben Crump, you say that you were talking about the process in there with the DA. Were any affidavits or possible prosecutions or criminal actions presented to her to be signed eventually? Or do you know anything?
Yeah, and as she said, her role is confidential at this point, but so she can maintain her prosecutorial independence. Obviously, I stressed to her very strenuously to say, we want you to zealously, you and the Sheriff's Department, to zealously investigate this matter and Christine and Elmore share their life experiences too. We know through our lived experiences, our life experiences, and she said that's not how our office operates, but we know in America, in the South, certain people are investigated differently. And we shared that with her. We didn't, ask that she understand our perspective, but we said we should mutually try to understand each other's perspectives, where we're coming from. And we agreed that we would try to do that.
Where are we at in the investigation of autopsy? We were supposed to get back Friday.
Well, no, we like we said, we're waiting. Let the doctors do what they do. They ain't got their autopsy back neither. So we're trying to get it right. And then when we get it, we're going to share it. Yes, ma'am.
On Friday in the press conference, you said that you hear on the video Nolan saying,
yes,
my freaking phone, what are you freaking doing?
That's what a witness told us, and that's what we reported out. Then another witness had come forward and said, no, that was his voice. We have other witnesses who said there were other altercations. So as Mr. Hurt said, we're trying to go through it all and so forth. And we'll be even more careful to say, this is what a witness told us in the future.
And so your team hasn't been able to look into that to confirm whether it was or was not Nolan.
No, we have audio people doing it, but we know certain people said it was him, and then certain people said it was not him.
Are you worried about the death threats and the violent kind of atmosphere on social media and how these fake videos and photos could play into that?
Oh my God, I saw a
Even
fake
with
video.
Nolan's friends getting death threats.
We don't want anybody's life to be in harm's way just because we're trying to get to the truth of what happened to Christine and Elmore's son. We saw fake videos about AI-generated videos of Christine, and it's just god-awful as they're grieving and trying to fight for the truth, that they are also having to deal with these fake videos attacking them as they are just trying to literally bury their son.
There's been a lot going on, man, especially just they lost the son, man. You know what I mean? Some people are even going as far as to saying that he's not the father of Nolan. They look alike. They got the same nose, look similar to me. Like, it's just craziness, man. It's just, no empathy going on at all for anyone right now. We are in the last days.
Next week. But we want everybody to say that we can go through this journey together for the truth. And even though we may have different viewpoints, we can all agree that everybody wants the truth, and nobody life should be threatened for seeking the truth. Nobody should be, presumed accountable until we have evidence. His mother and father only want, and Christine has said it multiple times, she only wants what you would want. If this was your son, if this was your daughter, wouldn't you want desperately to get to the truth? Wouldn't you want people who were closest in proximity to what happened to be investigated and thoroughly investigated? We know that, if it was Nolan, how would he be investigated? So, one last question.
Really quickly, just curious about the dynamic that you guys have had, Christine and Elmore, with law enforcement up until this point. Have you all been able to speak with the sheriff, any of the lead investigators, since what happened last week?
So that was actually clarified in today's meeting. The DA's office wanted to take over that communications because they do have a victim advocate, which I appreciate. But of course, that wasn't what she, took responsibility and accountability for. But we were not communicated with that information. So for us, like I said before, the last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that she took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. But we have a setup now, and so the hope is that we'll have that open lines of communication.
So you feel like this was useful
And
today?
Attorney Hertz has a comment on that there.
Let me just say that under the law in Mississippi, a victim is entitled within, I think it's 72 hours to get an incident report and to have certain information shared.
I think, janky ass lawyer. What you mean, I think? This ain't the time to think. This is the time to know, sir. Time to know.
It's been more than 72 hours, and that's part of the meeting here today to start getting the incident report and all that information that we came here to collect, as well as listen to the district attorney and what she had to say.
Did you get that report?
No, not yet. We are working with them to say there need to be better communications with the clients and so forth. So the big things that we know, there's going to be a grand jury into the death of Nolan Wells, and number two, that we're going to have a mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. We just want to make sure everybody else's cell phone is also being downloaded. Thank you.
Really quickly, as far as
Ooh, blockbuster. There's some bombshells in this. It's a couple of key points. I've been taking notes. Couple of things stand out to me from the very beginning. Besides, Tyler Perry agreed to pay for Nolan Wells' funeral expenses, and Colin Kaepernick agreed to fund the independent autopsy. So we do know that for a fact, but some things that did stick out to me as I took some notes. One of the biggest developments is that Ben Crump said that they've reached an agreement. The district attorney and both sides will examine Nolan's cell phone. Both sides will examine Nolan's cell phone. I think that is something to be looking out for, right? As well as the family experts and the state's experts will review the phone at the same time. It reduces claims that no one side manipulated or withheld digital evidence. It suggests that both sides want the digital evidence to be transparent. We did also hear Ben Crump say at the very end of this conference that, listen, everybody's cell phones need to be on the straight and narrows as well too. So everybody's phones is up to grab. So this may be one of the biggest developments we've heard so far, because both families experts and the state's experts will be looking at the phone of Nolan Wells, as well as Ben Crump saying everybody's cell phones is on the chopping block as well. So we already know the independent investigation continues. Attorney Eric Hurt, him right there, who just speaking, talking about, I think it's 72 hours. No time to think right now. You are an attorney. It's time to know. It's time to exude that confidence. And that's what leads the family to be more confident when you know what you're doing and know what you're saying. So we don't need to be thinking right now, especially live in a press conference. I know sometimes it gets kind of nerve-wracking as well. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was speaking well, but it seemed like he got some jitters, some maybe some camera jitters, exactly as Attorney Hurt goes, the lawyer. He said that they have a former federal law enforcement investigators, former investigators reviewing the evidence, and people continuing to call with tips, all right? Urging everybody to call in with tips. If you was on Horn Island, all of those things, call in with the tips, and they'll be able to screen these calls to see what is false from what is the truth. So some people are talking to the family's investigators, but are not talking to the law enforcement. So that's a big blockbuster right there, that a lot of people are calling the family's attorneys and the family's investigators, but they're not talking to law enforcement, all right? I think that law enforcement need to be aided as well, you know what I'm saying, to get them on the right track, even if they're not on the right track. Call law enforcement to call both sides. Call both sides. Give your information here. So even if information is being skewed, thrown away, discarded, whatever the case may be, we know that the evidence is out there. You know what I'm saying? But you got to help aid that investigation as well, because then if you have that lackluster investigation or the lack thereof of an investigation, now we sitting here saying, look, they ain't really do their job. So help them to get the things that they need as well to conduct a proper investigation into what happened to Nolan Wells, okay? And that's very notable because like I said, it suggests that there may be witnesses or people with information who haven't fully cooperated with the police, and we need to get that out there. As far as the false narratives, Eric Hurt also said that the narrative which has been put out is false. He did not specify exactly which narrative he was referring to, but so we wouldn't speculate beyond that. But he was, and I also heard Ben Crump saying that, you know, they've been also posting on social media and reposting, you know, but, you know, sifting through the content that they are posting as well, combing through different things like that. The mother announced the funeral details. She said that the funeral will be at Center Point Church and the repast is at Jackson County Fairgrounds. The former teammates are invited and she asked everyone to remain peaceful. Okay. So that's good. The father speaking, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? She spoke. I think she spoke very well. I was just kind of shocked. I thought that he would have said 1 or 2 words. But his wife really did speak very, very well. And they could have all decided that one person speak and just let the mother speak. So, you know what I mean? I was kind of like shocked when I reacted at first, but it could have been that, you know what I mean? The attorneys could have wanted to keep the message focused to what the mom said, or he simply just wasn't emotionally ready. But he seemed like a strong guy right there. It seemed like he's holding his wife down and he's there, you know what I'm saying? So most definitely. Another thing that I noticed, Ben Crump repeatedly emphasized that getting to the truth, working with the district attorneys and reviewing that cell phone together. That struck me as more of a collaborative than adversarial type of deal, rather than accusing investigators of misconduct. During this portion of the press conference, he seemed to be highlighting the cooperation, okay, making it clear that the family still has unanswered questions. So I think that that's also a good thing for them to be working in conjunction, okay, not just pointing the finger saying, yo, y'all not doing it, y'all ain't looking to this. No, let's get on this together. Let's start getting our own investigators together. Let's start reviewing these cell phones, everybody's cell phones, like Ben said, everybody's cell phones, not just Nolan, okay? Not just Nolan. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. It's most definitely crazy, this whole situation. Salute to Tyler Perry. Salute to Colin Kaepernick for stepping in, aiding the family, giving them some assistance. You know what I'm saying? Tyler paying for the funeral. Colin Kaepernick paying for the independent autopsy. Reverend Al Sharpton, he said he will officiate the funeral service. Reverend Al Sharpton. And I mean, you know what I mean? He always around when it's probably some cheese to get. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's just my own thought on Reverend Al. Have your own thought on Reverend Al. That's just me, bro. Leave me be. Leave me to beaver. The Wells family also thanked Tyler for covering Nolan's funeral expenses and Colin Kaepernick for funding the independent autopsy, with Reverend Al Sharpton set to officiate the actual funeral proceedings. Okay. I don't know how deep it's going to be. Would he be at the whole thing? Most likely. This is a big case. This is a big situation. Now, Ben Crump condemned misinformation. This was one of the strongest messages. He said, people have been receiving unalivement threats. AI-generated fake videos are circulating, and the family is being attacked online while trying to grieve. Now, we don't want to be attacking no grieving families, even in the Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony's trial situation. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to feel people like, you know what I'm saying, attacking them, even the Metcalfs, regardless of who he came out to kind of seem like a racist a little bit with the, or a lot, whatever side of the fence you want to look at that, with the watermelon felons and all those things. I still think that they're a grieving family. I still have some humanity in me. Just because a person's a racist, that don't mean I have to be a racist. And you know what I mean? I do feel that they lost a child, but as well, you know what I mean? I do feel at the same time that Carmelo shouldn't be doing 35 years as well. That's just my own thoughts. Everybody's open to have their own opinion and their own thoughts on that. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. So Ben Crump is urging the public not to let the rumors and AI-generated videos or social media speculation replace actual evidence. Again, do not let the rumors, the AI-generated videos or social media speculation replace actual evidence. We've seen a lot of that in the Carmelo trial as well. We even seen a few people get in front of those cameras and say, oh, we seen a clear video that was 4K and we seen the fist and everything. We seen it clear. Where that's at? We ain't seen it yet. And come to find out that I think that a lot of those people that was talking in that press conference of Carmelo Anthony was lying to us, bro. And you don't have to lie to kick it. you've seen other things come out with the Metcalf boys. They spraying racist graffiti and they background of being aggressive, and even some of the students saying, look, man, the same thing that happened to Carmelo, yo, they try to do that to us too, bro. I'm telling you, you can see when Austin get mad, and you can know when he about to fight or when he finna do something. Okay, we saw all of those things. So you don't got to lie to kick it. So I think that some people out there were just saying things to say things, and then we had a big misinformation surge with AI generated videos and all types of things when it comes to the last case, which was the Carmelo case. And we're seeing some of those same things in this. It's a video that is circling where they're saying a fight is happening. Okay, I'm going to upload it to my channel maybe later. I've been just really combing through this video, and now I have a video where they try to drown out some of the background noise, and maybe I want to post it so maybe someone can hear something, and we're just looking for everybody to see what can we hear in this altercation or alleged altercation that's happening with Nolan Wells while he's on the beach. We see him in a blue short. We see his group of friends is there as well. It's some sort of an altercation is occurring. We did see one of his friends come out to speak towards an altercation. I didn't think he specified if Nolan Wells was a part of that said altercation, but we do see Nolan Wells there in the video right there on the shore of the beach, and the beach is taken from the boat, and the camera's kind of doing one of those 360s, those or panoramic type of vibe. Yeah, so we need to get to that video. Some people are saying it's real. Some people are saying it's AI generated, but we just want to comb through everything to make sure that we get into the truth. Now, Crump also struck more of a balanced tone than some people might expect. He said nobody should be presumed accountable until we have all the evidence. Again, nobody should be held accountable or presumed accountable until they have all the evidence. And I think that's very fair and very unbiased for Ben Crump to say. Ben Crump would have been fingered them people out, said, it's you. I know it's you, bruh. Don't do this. We know it's y'all. So he didn't do that. Dealing with some young guys, he didn't do that as well. And I think that's very significant because although the family has raised many questions, he also is telling people not to rush to blame individuals before the investigators establish actual facts, okay? Actual facts. Okay, the family says the communication has improved. One of more concrete updates came from Nolan's mother. This is what Nolan's mother had to say. She explained that the lack of communication wasn't necessarily because the sheriff's office refused to speak with them. Many people are saying that the sheriff's office is, you know what I mean, doing some shady business. All right. So for her to come out and speak on this, I think this is very unbiased how they're coming out. Ben Crump, be it the mom, I think they're coming out fair. I think they're being fair. Hopefully they get a fair investigation. Hopefully people are aiding and calling them. But I'm telling you, call them, give them your information, but then call the investigators as well and help aid that investigation. I know we always say, oh man, justice ain't justice blind. Justice can't see. Justice like this. Georgia, whole way through. Justice is like that. We get it. But help aid that investigation, because if you cut in the investigation's arm short, then you can't expect for it to reach certain places that you want it to reach for. So aid the side of the family, document your information, and then aid the information to the investigators. So just don't think that it's going to be falling on deaf ears. Put your information in both parties' hands so you know that you've done what you had to do. So if there is a stone that is unturned, then you can say, look, man, you gave them the information. We gave them this. We gave them that. We gave them this. Look, the family even got this information. So now you can see the lack thereof if there is that in this investigation, all right? She also explained that the district attorney's office acknowledged that the communications should have been routed through its victim's advocate, okay? And going forward, there will be a clearer line of communication between investigators and the family. That is a good thing as well. We don't need nobody separated right now. I understand we in America. I understand that when it comes to people that's looking like this, melanated tones and chocolatey skin, you know what I mean? Chocolatey skin. Sometimes it just don't be going in our favor. So we do get that. We do get that. But what we need, especially in these communities, man, the belief in the officers, belief in the police departments, it's been broken. It's been broken. That whole line of communication, that sense of believing in them. Okay. has been broken, okay? And I think that a lot of these departments need to go into the community and start to try to rebuild their relationships with the communities that they service, okay? I've seen in some communities, they have in basketball games, different things like that. You know, it's just basketball. Maybe it's just sports with NYPD versus locals and different things like that. But little things like this start to rebuild trust in the departments that you know what I mean, that are in your jurisdiction and that are policing your jurisdictions and policing your neighborhoods. And I think a lot of that has been long overdue, that they have to do more, okay? Now, Eric Hurt, which is the attorney, comments about the victim's rights. You notice that he said, I think it's 72 hours. It's no time to think, Eric Hurt. This is the time to be very confident, okay? We do see that they got other kind of lawyer up in that building. You know what I mean? They're in Mississippi, wherever they at. So you know what I mean? So I ain't mad with them on that. But at the end of the day, this is the time for you to be very confident. I don't want to hear you saying you think. I want you to hear you saying that you know. And that's how you start to exude that energy and that confidence on that family who you are representing, okay? I just need you to sound a little more confident. I'm not trying to give them no flack. I just want them to sound a little bit more confident, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean? It really stood out to me, man, because in a live press conference, attorneys sometimes avoid stating the statute from memory because they don't want to misquote it. Rather than reading too much into that, though, I'm just going to leave that be and not read too much into it. But I understand the argument that he was making. He argued that the family is entitled to a certain investigative information under the Mississippi law. He said that they're working to obtain the incident report and other materials as well, okay? Okay, two biggest investigative updates as well. These remain the headline items. A, the grand jury. Crump confirmed that once the investigation is complete, this case will be presented to a grand jury. Again, Crump confirmed that once this investigation is complete, the case will be presented to a grand jury. That's a procedural step. It does not mean that anyone will necessarily be charged, because that's how they know if they have enough grounds to say, you know what, we want to go further with this case. So the case will be presented to a grand jury. The cell phones, again, he added something new saying, we just want to make sure everybody, this is what stood out to me as well, everybody's cell phone is being downloaded and being combed through, not just Nolan Wells, everybody's cell phone, because you know that the family speculated. The mom, at least I know, heard speak out, because I haven't heard the father being as vocal, but she said that they went to the Snapchats and different things like that, and it seems like videos were deleted. It seems like certain messages or videos were deleted out of that phone, okay? There's many shaky business about the phone. Who possessed the phone? Why is he with the phone? Why was he left on the island still? He talking about, he telling, yo, y'all want to chill? All right, cool, I'm coming back. Like he down the block in his neighborhood. Talking about one thing is saying that he went to say he was going to see a shorty. He was with a girl. Another is saying that he said he's going to take a ride on another boat. But we understand from the part of where he came from, Mississippi, is 25 to 30-minute ride by boat, okay, to get to Horn Island, okay? And it's not like you just in your local neighborhood. You're on a whole damn island, and you need a boat to get up off of there. So I can understand why everybody sees it shaky. If you don't see it shaky, we looking at you like Stevie. My Sherry, more. If you don't see it shaky, we looking at your ass shaky more and more. If you don't see it shaky, we looking at your ass shaky. Point blank, period. Hell, who the hell is gonna leave on the island? Ain't nothing here for me, bro. With coconuts? Nah, we're not doing that, bro. We're not doing that work. That's nasty. Anyway, if the investigators obtain and analyze multiple devices, that could really help. It could be very helpful. It could verify or challenge witness statements. So, okay, one key fact. If they start to get into these phones, verify or clarify or challenge these witness statements that they initially made. Establish more of a precise timeline now. This could be a great thing as well, because people saying, yo, man, we were just on a boat, man, and he said he was about to, you know what I mean? He's gonna get up with us later and all that, even though we got to get on a boat, get up out of here. Only a couple of boats on the shores. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get into seeing what that is. And it could also determine who communicated with whom before and after Nolan disappeared. And that, I think, is that right there is a blockbuster that we need to know. We need to know who communicated with whom before Nolan disappeared, okay? So, oh boy. There are a lot of rumors circulating online right now, man. You know what I mean? So we're going to focus on what's being said here in the press conference and on the information that can be verified. Again, we're trying to stay out of this internet AI generated loop that it could throw us in. We've seen a lot of that in the Carmelo Anthony case. I blame a lot of that on Judge Roach, the judge that's actually looking like he's refusing to recuse himself in the case, which he needs to go and get the stepping, bro. Go and get the stepping. Because you know, once you've actually filed these motions for new trials, he would be the presiding judge over the evidentiary hearing, or he's the one that's looking over the case still. So if he came out, Judge Roach, to come out to say, listen, we ran a good case. I thank everybody for their work. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo committed a crime, and I side with the Metcalfs and all of these things like that. And we actually ran a good case. Why would he want to change any judgments in the trial? Why would he want to recuse himself? You see what I'm saying? But we do know that Carmelo's family and his new defensive team are reaching out for a judge named Judge Wheelers, right? Wheeles, Judge Wheelers, and he's a veteran attorney as well, a veteran judge as well, and he holds 3 board certificates as well, I believe. But the great thing about him is, so they're just not reaching out for any judge in Carmelo's case. They're reaching out for a judge that, when judges get recused, he's the judge that assigns new judges after a judge has been recused. So they're trying to get Judge Roach recused, and they're trying to put in the big boy judge that actually fills in the vacant spots of recused judges and puts people there, not him. He only comes out to speak on certain type of trials, certain type of cases, but he has the right to practice law, a judge, and preside over multiple kinds, civil cases, criminal cases, multiple kinds of cases. So we understand that that's what they're doing in that case. But I think that a lot of the misinformation came from Judge Roach, him closing down the courtroom, him retracting and taking away overflow rooms after the voir dire process, which is the jury selection process. So that means that observation room, overflow room, was provided in the very beginning and then withdrawn, okay? And these could be breaking some Waller factors as well, okay? You have to have reasons for cutting live feeds, for taking away the public's access to a trial, because as the public, our tax-paying dollars pays everybody's salaries, okay? And we have a right as the public to attend the trial, and we have a right as the public to even observe those public transcripts, which was being withheld for a while. They were sealed by an oral seal, okay? Instead of those transcripts being in a district clerk's office, okay, getting ready to be put together and sent to the appellate courts, which today the process is a little different. It's digitalized. So now the court reporter, Jan Duggan in this case, she just gathers all her notes, the transcripts itself, and they upload it into Thames, which is a digital server now that you upload everything into. And after the appellate court receives the appeal, they contact the court reporter, and she has to fill out this document. And he or she, but most likely court reporters are women. That's what I'm saying, she. And she or he has several days to upload the transcripts. So once the appellate court gets the transcripts, then we can get the transcripts after, because they're going to review the transcripts. All right. I've been in contact with the court reporter. Actually, Jan Duggan, she actually reached back out to me as well. And she told me that after the appellate process, the transcripts will be up for, we can get the transcripts, but it will be for purchase. So I will be purchasing those transcripts just to get to the bottom line of that as well. So that's just a little updates on some of the Carmelo as well, but just going to show you that the misinformation and the AI generated tools that were used, all of these things are just, we living in a wild world, in a very real world right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just scary what AI can do and how realistic images see. They can take an image of you and you just be guilty as hell right now. So we're living in that Minority Report. We're living in that world right now. We're in the Matrix. We're in the Minority Report. We're in 1984, the book by George Wells, whatever name. You know what I'm saying? We living in that time. And it's most definitely a very, very scary time. So let's just try to fact check everything that we can. Look over everything that we can. Again, there's a video that's circulating with they say there's an image or something of him being beat up, Nolan Wells. It's not been verified or confirmed, but a lot of people are speculating and guessing about this image. as well as the video, which was taken from a boat and is circling like this, and they're showing an altercation that's happening between Nolan Wells and a friend group. And we see Nolan Wells on the left side in this video. As the video pans, because the person on the boat does a circle like this all the way around. And as it pans, you see Nolan on the beach on the left side in some blue shorts. And you can see all his friends on one side, and he's like right here, but they're all close to each other. Not like he's far, but he's like right here, and the friends are here. And it looks like they're facing towards him. So I don't know if that altercation was with him, or if it was because of him, it was involving him, or if that is what led to him being no longer with us. So we're just going to try to get to the facts, man. We're just trying to get to the facts here. Anytime I cover situations, stories, trials, news coverage, I try to just report facts. I try to come at cases as unbiased as I can, even though we're all going to have some implicit bias some way, somehow. We all have some biases some way. And but I try to just look at the information and just look at the evidence and try to judge from the evidence. You know what I mean? So hopefully more evidence comes out. The family's receiving a lot of phone calls. I urge the public to contact the family, keep contacting the family, let them be able to sift through this information, see what's true from what's false. But also contact the investigators as well, man. Do not help aid the investigation thinking like, yo, these people don't want justice. These people never do nothing to help us. These people never investigate our cases like that. I understand what you feel, but help that investigation as well. So then you can understand if you give in the family information and the investigators information, and if they do a lackluster job, or if they have a stone that they haven't overturned, then we can understand that there is a fix that's in here. You know what I'm saying? So aid the investigation, man. Give them information. If you know what's going on, if you've seen something shady, if y'all was on one of them boats on Horn Island, if you was on a boat passing by, if you overheard a conversation, if you heard of something on the boat going to Horn Island, if you was on a ride somewhere before, anywhere before they got on the boat to go to Horn Island, which is a 20-25 minute boat ride to Horn Island, contact the family, contact the investigators, aid this investigation. One thing that stood out is they said it's a collaborative effort between the state and between Nolan Wells' family and his side of their investigators, and them coming together in a collaborative effort in a conjunction to search the cell phone of Nolan Wells. Crump is pushing for the cell phones of the friends as well. I think that they need to be combed through as well. It could clarify a lot of information. It could clarify the whereabouts of whom was with whom and when. It could clarify a lot of things that I think need some clarification. So salute to everybody. Subscribe to On Go, hype this video, get us into the algorithm after this video ends, hype this video, like this video, share this video, most definitely to any of your platforms. Subscribe to Uda On Go. Make sure you hit the notification bells and keep you notified when I'm on go and when I'm dropping new content. I cover trials, I cover cases outside in real time as well. I wish I could get to, you know what I mean, anywhere around this. I wish I was close to Mississippi, man, just to get down there, just get to that beach and see where he was, and take the ride to Horn Island myself. I'm telling you, that's the type of stuff I do. I take the ride to Horn Island myself just to see for myself. You know what I mean? Just to see, put myself in Nolan Wells' eyes and shoes for a second and just get to see it for myself and say, would I want to stay here? You know what I'm saying? Just see it for yourself. I mean, this is what we got to do, man. I urge anybody, if you're in Mississippi, get outside, man. Start to cover content. Start to create content. Be a content creator now. Get into your independent journalist bag and start to investigate, man. Get out there, man. Go where the boat docks at, where they head to Horn Island. Take the 20-minute, 30-minute boat ride to Horn Island. Go walk around. Go see what's going on. Put us in your shoes. Tell us what you feel about that ride. Tell us what you feel about staying on that island and telling people you're going to wait. Or would you feel like you want to get up off that island? Tell us if you see how many boats do you see when you get to Horn Island. Do you see a whole bunch of boats there just at the docks or at the shores? What do you see? Tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you're seeing. So I'm going to do more of some reports on Horn Island. I'm trying to make some contacts and some calls and some people that is from Mississippi that can actually talk to us about this specifically, and people that actually have been to Horn Island, so they could tell us how it actually works over there and how everything runs, and what is the boat situation looking like? Are there multiple boats that are there? You know what I mean? Can you just miss a boat with your friends that you went there with and just get on the next one? Is it that easy, like you catching a bus or a Greyhound? Is it that easy? You know what I'm saying? Like you on MTA. Is it that easy? Or is it something in a situation to say, nah, man, if you got a boat, you better get on this all aboard. You need to be getting on this boat, bro, because it's not a lot of boats. You know what I mean? So we need to understand those facts very fast, all right? So salute to everybody. Again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells, and make sure that you all are on go. Ooda, ooda, ooda. Always on go.
All my niggas from the Ooda. All my niggas turn shooters. Ooda, ooda. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. Shooters on the internet. You ain't been this right. All my niggas turn shooters. Ooda, ooda. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas from the Ooda. All my niggas turn shooters. Ooda, ooda. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas